40. War Day 5. Trapped in a marble. Compress and I were currently in my second villain lair. I was happy that Aizawa-sensei wasn't there or I would be in big trouble. He was a threat to my plans if he showed up too early. Mr. Compress. Do you need to grab anything from here? Me. Let me think real quick. Yeah, I think I do. I went to my weapons and changed them, swapping the one I had with me with a complete one. There was no big meaning behind it besides me getting the chance to fill my drone with blood. The drone had a syringe and a little bottle. I usually don't use that feature, but I will need it. Thank you so much, May. Did I tell you how much I love these babies? Once the vessel was filled fake blood, I took out my phone and programmed it to fly to Aizawa and write the word, lair, on his hand. Hopefully he would get the hint and wait there for me. It now only needs the signal from me to fly to him. Mr. Compress. You ready, kid? Me. Yeah, just a little stage fright, I guess. Mr. Compress. Ha ha ha, how come just now? Me. Oh, I don't know, maybe because I have such a great showman besides me this time and I don't want to look like a fool beside you. How can he trust me that much? I mean, the whole time he was facing my back and let me do my preparations. He didn't even question what I was doing. It didn't took me long to finish what I was doing and turned around facing him. Me. I am done. Let's go. Mr. Compress. Finally, let us give them the best show they ever had seen. I rolled my eyes at this statement. At first it was fun talking like this, but after a while it just got annoying, but I was still keeping my act up. Me. I'm going to lead the way, maestro. You might want to stick close to me. Guiding him through the tunnel, while avoid the teacher's drone searching for me, wasn't the easiest task but manageable once you know the layout of these tunnels. I was moving fast and knew every shortcut there was. The best thing was, even when the teacher's drones were small and nearly didn't give any sound off them, they were still humming in a high frequency which was echoing through the tunnels. One could always tell where they are, thanks to that. Our target destination point was the hero's headquarters. Once we arrived, we both went to the alley and he gave me the signal to get into the vent system. I was the only one that could fit in there. Compress himself was too big for the hatch. This was the reason why I vented once again. In every room, where our target wasn't in but other students, I would drop a sleeping gas grenade. This ensured that we didn't need to fight too many people at the same time. Although I could have handled it and I wished they would give me the chance, but the love was so against it, seeing that I might get seriously hurt again. I don't get it. It would have been faster if we just have skipped that step. Why do they even care if I, a hero in training, a useless waste of space, a person born quirkless, a worthless Deku, got hurt? After everyone besides a couple of chosen students that simply were with our main target in the room at that time, I went back to the alley. It wasn't intended for these two extras to be in the same room as the second traitor. They simply were together and I conveniently put every other hero to sleep. Once I was outside again, me and Compress were going over the plan once again, since there were now 2 more people involved in it. Me. So we go in, defeat them, capture our target and leave. Sounds like a solid plan to me. Mr. Compress. How many are there? Me. Just 2 extras. Mr. Compress. Alright, then let's go. It isn't very nice for the host to let them wait, now is it? Me. Tilda. How come you don't care about their quirks or who they are? For all you know it could be Shinso or Pikachu or anyone, even the teacher could be there. Thinking about the teachers, the place was filled with cameras. Shit. The cameras. Me. Wait. Mr. Compress. What is it, Zukun? Me. The place is filled with cameras and they will see us enter. Mr. Compress. Your point? Arg. How stupid can you be? I mentally face-palmed myself, because of his question. It was pretty obvious that I didn't want to get seen associating with the love. Me. The teachers will see me with you and will count 1 and 1 together that I am a traitor after all. Mr. Compress. Completely forgot about that. Me. Just give me a minute and we are good to go. I took out my phone once again and hacked into the security footage of the camera, shutting them all down. Once that was done, I nodded to Compress, showing him that I was done disabling them. We then both went to the hero's headquarters and just entered the damn building as if we owned it. Mr. Compress. Which floor? Me. Common area, 2nd floor. It took us not even 10 minutes to get in front of the room. Compress then pushed the door open, making our present known. Compress. We are back, bitches. I didn't had to say anything, but the look from the heroes in training was priceless, especially the traitor. Sato and Shiro were in the room with our second and last UA traitor. Before Sato could even do anything, I took out my blood knife and threw it at him, hitting his heart. The knife fell down on the floor after hitting the target and Sato went down immobilized. I then start sprinting form behind Compress right at Shiro, who tried to capture me with his tape. He was way too slow. Before he could tape me or even touch me, he went flying from where he was standing a second ago to the ground. Too careless. You left me a ton of opportunities to do that. What just happened was simple. I got in front of him, then ducked to the side and swooped him of the ground, effectively throwing him down. Next, I jumped because Shiro tried to use his tape to wrap it around my feet. Too bad I saw that coming. You are really easy to read. Not wanting to waste any more time than I already have, I took my daggers out mid-air, and the moment my feet touched the ground I crouched down and made a red mark on his neck. This meant that I slit his throat open and he was dead. Seconds later, he too was immobilized. I took Shiro and dragged him to the nearest wall. Me. So you wanna help me or what? Mr. Compress. Nah, you are doing fine, kid. Watching you is way more funnier. Me. Hey snitch, come over here and help me tape him to the wall. Traitor. Who are you calling snitch? Mr. Compress. You heard him, now go do what he says. Traitor. Since when do I need to do anything Deku says? Me. Since I to consider to join the love and proved myself worthy unless a certain someone. Traitor. What is that supposed to mean? Me. Oh, nothing. Now help me. Traitor. Jesus. No need to yell at me, Deku. She came to my side and took Shiro from me. After seeing her struggling positioning the unconscious boy by herself, Compress went to our side and helped out. I then used his tape and taped him to the wall. Once done, I used my blood knife and made the signature body smile on his face. Shiro now was hanging on the wall like Jesus hanging on his cross. I went to Sato and dragged him in front of Shiro. Me. You might want to get either behind me or out of the room. I then took out my blood grenade. Compress noticed it and went behind me. Our little traitor on the other hand didn't budge as I threw the grenade right in front of her, Shiro and Sato. The grenade went off and all three were now covered in blood completely. Traitor. Ah, traitor. What was that for, Deku? Me. Meh, you didn't move. Your fault for having reflexes like a dead cat. I then went to the pool of blood and dipped my hands in it, in order to be able to write something on the wall. You can run but you can't hide. You never will be safe from me. Was the message I wrote above Shiro. The traitor was mad at me and came to slap me, but before she could touch me, Compress grabbed her hand and transformed her into a marble. Me. Thanks. Mr. Compress. No problem, kid. Me. Say, can I have the marble? I hate her and I feel like I have the right to have her life at my mercy. Mr. Compress. Haha, sure. Here you go. Before we left I once again dipped my hands into the fake blood poodle, went to the door, and wrote on them. A traitor sends her regards. He gave me the marble and I put it in my pocket. We then both went to exit the room, but before I closed the door behind me, I threw all the blood grenades I had on me in that room. I wanted it to look like a bloodbath of some sort and it did. There was a thin layer of blood on the ground. Every move, every footstep will make a little splash, that's how much fake blood was in the room. I also made sure that on the door leading to the room would be some of my bloody handprints and also the message. I thought you fakes might like it. Yours sincerely, Usagi. Then we both left. Once we exited the building and entered the underground tunnels, I took out my phone and resetted the cameras, while also giving the signal to my drone to get Aizawa to my lair. Me and Compress made it to my main villain lair unnoticed and without any drones following us. That is what I wanted to say, but no, we were greeted at the entrance of my lair by none other than Aizawa-sensei. I was glad he got the message. Before either of us two could enter in sight of the camera, Aizawa ran to us into the tunnel. From the tunnel's point of view, none of us could see Aizawa hiding just at the entrance while he was listening to our footsteps. Once they were loud enough, I guess my teacher decided to show himself by stepping into the middle of the entrance. I could tell that he was laying in his sleeping bag before he positioned to greet us. He immediately used his quirk on Compress while shooting his binding clothes to capture him. Compress was quick and somehow managed to dodge it. I on the other hand used the capture weapon that I got from Shinso to capture him myself. He did manage to evade the first attempt to capture him but not mine. Compress didn't even see me entangling the clothes from my torso or shooting it right at him. The moment he realized he couldn't move, he looked back at me. It was hard to tell what he was thinking because of his mask, but his voice gave his feelings away. He was surprised and angry with me. "Mr. Compress. Izuku? Why? I thought you were on our side." Me. "You see, I am on nobody's side. Besides, nothing bad will happen to you, I promise. You will see and realize the things I did wasn't that bad. Besides, you will be able to see Toga, Dabi and Spinder again." Before he could respond or say another word, Aizawa went to his side and hit a pressure point. "Aizawa. I am going to take him to the others." Me. "Okay, I am going to hide in the tunnels away from the drones for a little bit. Can you come back and just randomly search for me after you put him to the others?" Aizawa. "Sai, I will." Me. "Sorry to make you worried about me, but I can guarantee that they healed me completely. I feel great and have no injuries at all." Aizawa was looking me from up to down, searching for any injuries and making sure I was telling the truth. He looked relieved to confirm my statement. "Aizawa. You better not get hurt before I find you. Or I swear, problem child, I am going to make you train with me." Me. "Is that supposed to be threat? Because now I want to get hurt just to have a private training season with you, Aizawa-sensei." Aizawa shook slightly his head, pinched the bridge of his nose, and sighed in defeat. "Aizawa. Just don't." It was funny to see him look like that. I wasn't joking and he knows it. Though I really would like to have a private training season just to be able to beat his ass. The last time I clearly won and I destroyed him with his own methods, but it was fun. I really want to do it again. Me. "Alright, I won't, I promise. Maybe if I ask him really nice he will let me fight him someday again?" I flashed him the best and brightest smile I could offer. Eraserhead then untied the villain and took him with him before disappearing into another tunnel. I watched him leave before retrieving the scarf and hiding from all the drones while waiting for him to find me.